Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to not welcome back because it's not Monday, but it is Saturday, and yeah, we figured we had some Rocket League to talk about. Bucket, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm burnt, man. I got out on the golf course today and
How'd you shoot?
forgot to bring my sunscreen, and I live in
Ooh,
Phoenix, Arizona.
I always keep a bottle of sunscreen in the golf bag.
I
Then,
totally did. So a couple things with it. We played a course, like it was kind of a last minute thing. It was a buddy's birthday that he got some extra time this morning. So we were like, all right, looking for courses, but it's so hot out here. We were deciding, do we play a nice course? Do we go for early in the morning? And that's what we chose because it's so hot. So like, let's try to get done early. So 6 a.m. Boom, 6:30. Those any tea times, not very many of them. So we played this place called Cocopella, which is not the best course here it's in Gilbert, Arizona, and it's just not upkept bad. It's not bad, but whatever. And so the first 9, I shot a 45. Felt really good about it. I was just cruising, like doing everything I wanted, multiple pars, feeling nice. And then the last 4 or 5 holes kind of fell apart. I ended up with like a 94 or something. So couldn't keep the 45 on the back, but still not too bad.
that's not bad. That's so
Yeah.
much better than myself.
Yeah, I was feeling good today, man.
I am a struggle bus still on the golf course, but improving. That's what we're
That's
trying
golf,
to do.
dude.
Improve.
Like breaking 100 for the first time when I did was, I think it was last year or last year. And it's just one step at a time, man. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, you're not gonna get it right off the bat, and it's for me it's the hips. I know I have finally figured out in like the last couple of weeks that my golf swing, I tend to do everything with the
It's
arms.
all in the hips.
Yeah, I got to get more of the hips into it so I can actually get the nice straight shots that I'm looking for.
You'd be surprised, man. If you go, there's a lot of things I learned just from a buddy who actually went and got like some lessons, and little things that I just didn't know I was doing wrong, like how to like actually hit the ball kind of on your downswing and how to like
Mm-hmm.
actually make that happen. And the things that I just kind of thought, I played baseball, I can hit a ball straight, easy enough. And some of those things, it's just not that way. Like you have to know a little bit about how it should be done. And I just never knew those things. So once I started incorporating those things, with the things I already knew, it helped out a lot. So if you ever need help, like just go get like one lesson or get a buddy who knows a little bit and just have them go out with you, buy him some beers or
Oh, I got
whatever.
one of those. Yeah, I have a buddy. He grew up playing he lived right near the Greenbrier, and went and played.
Yeah.
That when he was playing in high school, that's where he would play. Like when him and I go play, everybody like people are like, oh, I can drive the ball. I'm like, hey Brian, pull out your 2-iron, and he just smashes it, and it's the prettiest fade ever too. It's you just look at me like, I hate you, like you just do that, you walk up and do it no problem. But again, he's someone that's been playing that game for years, and it's
That's what
in
I'm
his
saying.
nature.
And even then, like he's not a professional, right? Like that
Yeah, he's got
it's
pro-am buddies that are even better than him.
yeah, it is what it is. You gotta just live with the way it is.
You do.
No one's gonna be perfect at golf.
Well, talking about perfect, looking like we have some teams in the wild card right now. They didn't go perfect in their series, like in the games, but they did win 3 matches straight. That would be G2 and Falcons. They have now punched their ticket into the group stage. G2 taking down what is that? Limitless, Space Station, and Complexity. Probably the biggest shocker is M4O and Complexity today. Most people, even like on the Casper desk in the Rizzo chat, they didn't see that one coming. They thought it would be a much closer game. But then we also have Team Falcons, them punching their ticket to the group stage with 4-0 against Elevate, beating Crew 4-2, and then coming back 7-0. Not 7-0. Good Lord, coming back in a reverse sweep against Twisted Minds. So
Can you believe that?
that's a first 7-game reverse sweep on LAN.
Sheesh. I mean, I'm glad it finally happened. Someone broke through, because usually it'll get to that game 7 and then they'll just get blown out. And you're like, oh, you just wasted an hour of my time. Because each game's averages like 11 minutes or something. And that's an extra 4 games or 3 games you got to watch. So, 35, 45 minutes of your time gets wasted. But now, finally, someone comes through and gets over that hill. That's super exciting, regardless of the matchup.
Yeah, and none of those games,
cool
none of them went into overtime either. They're all within regulation time. Twisted Minds winning 2-1, 2-0, 1-0, and then Falcons just going on a run, winning 4-1, 3-1, 3-1, 2-1. So, fantastic stuff for them, though. Excited that Falcons is looking good. Kind of bummed to see them have to. They didn't really want to. They were, who was it? TRK was even a little bummed that they had to take out, their MENA friends, and not take out, but have them be the team that that they needed to beat to punch their ticket through here early on. The matchups tomorrow, though: Complexity versus Secret, Twisted Minds versus Crew, Moist versus SSG, and then in the lower matches, KCP versus Elevate, Power versus Limitless, Oxygen versus G1. Yeah. Hey, did you see the stuff about G1 that came out like 2 days ago?
Here's the thing. It's hard to follow Twitter drama because...
Wait, it's not Twitter anymore. It's
X drama, whatever it's called, because as soon as we start talking about it, someone comes out and says, well, actually, this happened, right? Like, that's why I always say, we'll wait and see, right? You ever heard that story of the guy? Just wait and see. That's again, who's saying it? Give me it all.
Atomic
so G1,
literally put
let's talk about G1.
And they had the little thing for the players when they're going up there and they're introducing them, and it was like, your favorite car, something about you, and then something funny, and he said, I haven't been paid since I can't remember the actual date. What was the actual date on that? I want to tell you that, but yeah, they're not getting paid. And they said women's carball hasn't been getting paid either. So you're a business guy. How do you run a business but then you can't pay people? How?
That does happen. So they have a Halo team, a Rocket League team, Trackmania team. Like, that's it, right? They don't even have a real major AAA team. So they're about as startup as it gets, it sounds like. I don't know a lot about G1. They have some creators here. I'm just looking at their website and their content, just trying to get a feel for who they are as an organization. This is one thing that kind of misses us in Rocket League, I think, is the underlying org. If you don't follow other esports, some of these other orgs you may not even realize either how big or how small they are, right? Because in Rocket League, you can be in the stage, the main stage at the lands and all that, without having a huge backing. It's possible, and it happens more often than not. There's teams or players and things that are getting into those things, right? So now it's kind of settling where we're having bigger orgs, but this isn't look like they even have a lot going on. So
Rise had even tweeted out on August 3rd. I don't mean to jump on the bandwagon, but we won the G1 Invitational tournament almost 8 months ago, and none of us have seen a cent of that.
See, that's just bad for them. That right there too. I mean, the players, you talk to them, you're like, okay, well, we can work something out with scale or percentages or equity or something in what we got going on. Like, you do that with employees or however, but it sounds like they may just honestly not have any cash flow.
Which then how are you even
So they were
I just don't
launched here.
understand.
It looks like 2021 by an ex-football player. Like I'd have to go look in their history, but I'm assuming they had an injection. They built it up. They thought they were gonna make money X, Y, and Z, and that's maybe just not happened. And so funding is huge. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not around for very long if they can't do that kind of stuff.
Oh, 100%. They're not going to be around for very long if you can't pay. No one's going to be a part of your want to represent your name at all.
Totally.
And then I more feel for women's carball because they already went through this with KCP, and now they have hope. We got picked up. Hey, someone's going to come help rescue us. And then they just dove right into the exact same problem.
Their name is G1, but it means gamers first. It doesn't sound like they're putting gamers first.
No, it does not sound like they're putting gamers first. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I couldn't give you exact, but my assumption is there's no cash injection at all. They have no operating money, and they're flying by the seat of their pants right now. That's my guess.
It would have to be. There's no way they're even like keeping their heads above water. They are literally sinking at this point. You know what's not helpful when you're trying to look up a atomic and it's the anniversary of Hiroshima. So there's a lot of other things in X-Land right now that are popping up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like they didn't even. I mean, G1's not going to say anything, but the founder has his own Twitter.
They haven't acknowledged anything.
Yeah. That used to be the school of thought I would subscribe to when I was younger. This worked with anything. Like, it just worked. But it doesn't work long term. Everything catches up to you. It was just ignore it and it will go away. Right? Like a light comes on in your car. Eventually it'll go away. Whether or not your car blows up or the light turns off, eventually you don't have to deal with it, right? Like, it doesn't matter what it is. You do it, it works, but it always comes back around on you at some point. And they're going to learn that lesson pretty hard, I think.
But usually the train of thought for me that ends up getting me most days now is something comes up. I always look at them like, is that a today problem? No, that's a tomorrow problem. I'll deal with it then. And then you're just like,
tomorrow
every day
never comes.
Yeah, that's nah, we don't need to deal with that today. That can be tomorrow. That's future me's problem. That's not present me's problem. So, oh yeah, wow. That's just wild to think about. But G1, they still have a chance. They got to take down Oxygen before they are eliminated, as they have,
which gives them what, 2, right? Like, what's the payout schedule here for Worlds?
Do you get a payout if you don't get through wild card?
I'm sure. Graphical explanation.
Overview.
Usually they have this like right here.
12 grand. It's in overview.
Oh, yeah,
you click on the overview tab.
Yeah. So 23rd and 24th, 8th grand, those are already done, Gaming and Valiant. So yeah, if they lose, they'll get 12 to 16 grand, looks like, somewhere in there. That's split between the whole org, right? Like, usually in these situations, the orgs takes the money and then they pay out their players. It's not like 4 guys, 3 players and a coach, or 5 guys if you have an alternate, just split the winnings. That a lot of that goes to,
unless you're Moist,
the organization.
That is the one insight we do know to Moist's contracts is oh my god, I'm like Charlie. Charlie has stated that he does not touch any of their winnings. That they get the tournament winnings.
That's amazing. I mean, obviously he's a self-made man, right? Like,
yep.
He's got
a huge community.
He's got community. He's got income. He's got all kinds of things. Seems to be a decent human being and a really good gaming personality. But that's not every place, right? Like, that's a hard sell. That's a charitable thing that he's doing, more or less, right? You can say that almost non-profiting his like profitable business. It's super weird to think about. But if you want to get the best talent and you want to have that flow with the community and the league and all that, like people just can't lose money though. It's just not possible
No, they
to
cannot.
sustain.
And talking about another clan that, organization that is, I mean, we've been watching them lose money on the stock market. Things don't seem to be going very well for them. Faze Clan last week, they dropped their coach on August 2nd, which would have been the anniversary, like basically the anniversary of when they hired Roll Dizz. And Roll Dizz dropped a video talking about, I don't think he dropped the video. I think he streamed it on YouTube. It got on there somehow. He deleted it, which tells me that probably somebody from Faze, there's something contractually there that said that couldn't be there. And so it got deleted, but someone was able to download it before it was deleted, so we all got to enjoy it and watch Roll Dizz give us an insight into what was going on in Faze Clan and him being dropped. But first things first, can someone toss Roll Dizz a calendar? The man literally started out that entire video saying, "Oh yeah, I got on the Faze Clan. Yeah, it was somewhere. Was it after Worlds?" It's like, dude, no, you were on there literally right before Worlds. It was the talking point of the entire tournament because it was all right. Faze has a coach now. They have someone that's going to help move them along, and yet this man can't even remember when he joined the team. Like, holy crap! That's just not good. It makes you really rethink the person's commitment to what is going on here. And as he later goes on to explain in the video, starting to name off players and what he thought. One of the first things that he brought up is how he was still on first take or first touch, not first take, but first touch throughout his entire time coaching. And that was something I even questioned because I was not sure how. Either for Faze Clan, I guess from Faze Clan side, it wouldn't be that big of a deal for them. But if First Touch is being backed by Rocket League, RLCS in general, how are you going to have a coach on there who can't even really contribute to what's going on? It's a conflict of interest 101 right there. Like, if you're going to be a coach, then you can't be up here trying to chat about everything else. It doesn't help the content, and it makes it very awkward when certain things need to be talked about, i.e., is First Killer the top player anymore? Is he still a top player? Which, in my opinion, no. With everything that came out in that video, that dude, he's not. Everything that he has tried to do, but he's wanted to do, he seems to be the GM making moves left and right. The dude can't even get out. Can't even get his father to step out of the limelight. Now I understand he's 18 now, so yeah, you have to listen to dad up until that point. But I would be hard pressed to think that like Beast Mode's dad is telling him or being really in his ear about roster moves and who he should play with. I don't see that happening. And for First Killer, the way we saw him, and it was kind of the critiques that I always had on him, it always seemed like it was First Killer's show. Everybody there is there to support him. But how can you expect those guys to be there to support them when you don't even give them their chance to actually be a part of what is going on? So, what else was in this video? Talking about, he then goes on to talk about how for Sipical, he had to go to the GM and make an incentive for them to get top 20 in twos leading up, that would have been in winter, leading up to winter, that he couldn't get them to get on the game. They were barely playing. And so he made an incentive that if you got top 20 in twos, then you would get paid. And that seemed to get Sipical onto the game, which then he goes in to talk about Sipical is contemplating retirement, doesn't really seem to be wanting to continue his professional career, but can't walk away from it because it's easy money right now. And everything that we've talked about with Greg, that's part of the problem that's going on in the professional Rocket League scene right now. None of them are threatened whatsoever, and it's kind of ridiculous. But I don't know. What do you think of everything that's been mentioned so far?
I mean, where to start at? There's the action itself, right? So Faze Clan's already, we talked about them a couple times in the last few weeks in the spotlight with acquisitions, right? Like they have some things going on that not paint them in the best light, or you don't know, like some question marks. Then they have world championships coming on and they just get rid of their coach. Like that's what we saw. And we didn't know. Well, what happened? Wait, what? And it's a week before the qualifiers, 2 weeks before they play, right? Because they're all automatically qualified.
Correct.
They don't have to play this weekend. They play next weekend or next week. So there's a little bit of time there. It wasn't the day before. And we go, okay, something bad must have happened. There must have been something really telling or awful. And then Roll Dizz hits the scene. He says, I have some things to say. I saw it on Twitter. And then you sent me the video, and I watched the edited version of the video. It was a live video, I guess, on YouTube, and it was edited down to 15 minutes or so that I watched. And I can see, like, he went through each player and the circumstances and the history pretty briefly in the video, but it seemed like when he came on, they were one team, and when he left, they were another team, and the players weren't really grinding like we've heard other players doing, and there was a lot of blame pushing, a lot of things that I felt maybe could have taken a little bit more ownership of. But you're right, this feeds all of it being said, right? Like he probably could have taken it a different way. Maybe his coaching style wasn't meshing. If he keeps going to his gym and saying these guys aren't playing the game, well, as a coach, your kind of job is to make sure that they do the things they need to do to be prepared. It doesn't matter if it's off the field, on the field, in between, whatever. Like you have to service yourself to pull out and extract the best ability that you can out of these players. In my opinion, it doesn't matter if it's literally in their ear while they're playing, all the way to making sure they show up. And they're professionals. They should be showing up. They're getting paid. They should be grinding, all that stuff. But if they're not, someone needs to be there to make sure. You see this all the time in sports, or you used to at least, where players would kind of go MIA a little bit, but or not be putting in the work, and there's always someone behind them trying to do it. Anyway, I can go down this rabbit hole for a while. What I'm trying to get to is the players seem to still be controlling everything. And that's the point that I took out of it, was regardless of how it's working, it seems like FK First Killer is kind of pulling the strings over there and making sure, because he's the prodigy child there. He's the guy who's really the answer for them. That's who they're going to try and build the team around, or who they're hoping to build the team around. So he's calling the shots. And in my opinion, that's just bad for business. That's bad for everyone. He may know what he wants, but he may not know that he wants what he wants yet, right? Like
no, he doesn't
confusing.
know. He doesn't know what he wants at this point.
He wants to win and be the best, but does he know what that takes? Does he know how to get there? He's just throwing stuff together.
Yeah, no, that's two orgs now that he's based that. I won't go as far as say that he's run them down, but that's two organizations that have now given him a chance, given him the reins, the keys, all of it, the kingdom. Take us to glory. He's not taking you to glory. He's
not by himself, not with his own methods. You need to have someone to control the situation.
Right. You're the best. Go do it. Go take us where we want to go. But he obviously hasn't gotten any mentorship. No one has helped him move forward, or even it seems like everybody is, yes, Faze, yes, First Killer, whatever you want, First Killer. You got it, buddy. Yep. You go ahead, do what you want. We'll listen to you. But also, the freaking commentator desk, they don't help either. Literally for the whole last year, all it's been is, yeah, First Killer, one of the best players in the world, the best player. Like, didn't they talking about? It's like, can we stop? Can we just please stop with it? It's done. As far as I'm concerned right now, depending on what happens at Worlds, if they exit very quickly in the group stage, quit even bringing him up. He needs to go back to G League or whatever and go start over from scratch and figure out how to actually build up a team again. And actually do, like, mature. Because that was the other bad part about that. I won't say bad part. The other frustrating part that I had with Roll Dizz's video. He wants to say, yeah, First Killer, he's matured. But now let's talk about the lack of maturity. Like, what? Either he's matured or he's not. Which one is it? And yeah, I would have to say it's
kids coaching kids, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're doing. They're taking ex-pros, not everyone, and it's evolving slowly. But that was the path that it happened on. Was, all right, we had this guy. He knows what he's talking about. He's been in the scene. There's not going to be a lot of coaching up to get him to the level to understand how these guys got here. But that's it. That's all they know. Their experience is siphoned, is so boxed into Rocket League Championship Series that they think that's all it takes. But if you want to evolve and you want to be better, you have to know more stuff than that. You have to be able to talk about mental stuff. You have to be able to understand how to wrangle some kids together. You have to understand how to coach someone and extract the things out of them. That takes multiple things. It takes experience. It takes life experience. It takes maturity. It takes having your own path carved out. It takes understanding the way people think. It takes a lot more than just, I was good at this game too, and I know what to do. That is not going to be the future of coaching in esports. It's just not going to be.
You know what, though? But if you compare that with what Roll Dizz was saying, I feel, from what I took, it seemed like they just wanted someone. We'll hire him. Oh, Roll Dizz, he's a cool guy. He's great. He'll be great to have around. And then when he turned and was like, hey guys, we should do this, do that. It's almost like whoa, hang on. You weren't supposed to. No, that's not. No, we brought you here just to be our buddy, be our pal, be our cheerleader. We didn't. No, like, we don't want to. No, you don't do that. Because like he said, he even says it in there that they were upset of calling him a drill sergeant. Well, I'm sorry, but everything that I've heard, you could probably use some of that, it seems like.
Some of that, right? Like, there's an in-between, though. That's what I'm saying. You have to be able to find the lane that works. Like, not every team's going to be the same. Year to year is going to be different. Progression of a maturity of the kids. There's way more that goes into it than just understanding what should be done. Like, you have to understand how it's going to be done. And you can't just hop in the car and start driving it. In this situation, you're building the car up for it to start driving. You have to know how the whole car works. You have to know those things.
Well, to be fair, I think if I'm Roll Dizz coming into Faze Clan, that has, when he got there, it was AJ, First Killer, and Sipical. So if I'm walking into that team, I would think that, yeah, I don't need to be that hard of a coach. These guys should have that drive. They're professionals. And then when you find a situation where they aren't that, then holy crap, why would... Yeah, I could see how he pivoted if he goes drill sergeant mode, right? It's almost like, I have this extreme, I have to go extreme. On top of that, you bring in the GM First Killer, he gets to make the decisions, dumps off AJ, which we all even said that was kind of like, why? And I remember AJ at Worlds, he was fantastic on the defense. Like, he was doing his job. And then you bring in Mist, which your coach has a back history with Mist. So, conflict, which I would say from my standpoint, if that was me, okay, you guys want to bring him on, I'm going to go have a one-on-one meeting with this person and be like, look, let's squash all this right now. Because it just seems like after Worlds last year, I would say the difference between traditional sports and Rocket League, the coach in traditional sports gets to cultivate they have control. They are making their culture, right? And I guess bigger kudos to like Greg and Jesu and like Surprise Sathu, a lot of these great coaches that we've heard of, Fireburner, because they have been able to make a culture where they're not in complete control. Because I don't know how you could do that knowing at any second this team can just off you. These players can just off you real quick. So how can you even have a good relationship with them or even completely it's a trust. It's a two-way street. And it just sounds like Roll Dizz and that Faze team, there was no trust between anybody. They at some point, it definitely seems like as I think of it more now, when he went drill sergeant, they went toddler mode and turned him off, or teenager mode, which they're basically all teenagers. They just, I'm not going to listen to him.
Exactly, right? Like he was trying to go down one path that didn't work, and he just switched it up, and I feel like went from one extreme to another. Again, I wasn't there.
Well, when
what I'm gathering,
when he dials it back, he wishes that he hadn't, and I kind of wish that he hadn't either, because at that point he relinquished all control to them, 100%. Then it was, all right, well then I'm not making the decisions here. Anything that I say doesn't go. It's not. What do you guys want to do today? What does Little Typical want to do today? Do you want to play the game? Huh? No. All right, go collect your paycheck, go home. Thank you.
This is the problem, though. I think that comes from starting your experience at the top, even in coaching, especially if you're coaching at the top level, your first job. There's a lot of things you didn't see. There's a lot of things you haven't been through. There's a lot of adversity you didn't have to get to. So when you go through those things, it's your first times and you don't know really how to tackle them. You don't really understand how this problem can be solved. And go all the way back to high school and things when you're learning these crazy math problems, right? Like you're like, I'm never going to use this problem again. I'm never going to see this exact problem, but now I understand how to get to an answer. Same thing, that you might have a specific problem that you don't know you've never seen before, but you have some tools to figure out how to solve that problem. That's what these guys lack when they jump straight from playing or being around the high level to coaching. Like at the high level, you have to get some of those experiences to understand how to solve the problems. And he didn't have that, and they were controlling the situation, and he went back and forth. It sounds like it was in the cards. I think I kind of said this offline to some people when it first happened, when he first became the coach. I was like, this isn't going to work out exactly how we think. But they started playing well. He talked about those things when they were playing well, how they did it, what was going on, but it always came back to they were loving the game and playing it. Okay, I know that. Now I have to get them to do that more often. How do we do that? I tried this, that didn't work. I'm going to go straight to making them do it. Oh, that didn't work. Let me back off. Like you got to have some better skills in that scenario, in my opinion. Again,
yeah,
maybe if he had different players, it worked out different, but he didn't. You have the cards you're dealt. You have to play them.
They took 3rd, 4th in Worlds, which was huge because if I remember right, they came into Worlds not on the best run. Regional. So Spring Regional 1, they finished, and this is talking last season, not this current season. So last season, they finished 3rd. Regional 2, they finished 7th, 8th. And then Regional 3, they won. But it was like, it was always this inconsistent. It's just the same that it's always been. That's kind of NA as a whole, right? NA as a whole is just inconsistent at this point. We haven't, aside from Gen G, there's been no complete consistent team. But yeah, this past season, it got even, I felt like, worse. What was that? North America Fall Open Phase 1, and then they take 5th, 8th, and then they take 2nd, and then they went into winter, and 9th, 12th in Winter Open. Winter Cup, they win. And then Winter Invitational, they win. And then spring, yeah, they kind of felt it just seems like they, yeah, if Roll Dizz is coming out and saying that you got players that aren't even wanting to play the game, even though they're a professional player, not keeping up their hours, then whatever. And yeah, it's time for them to move on. I do feel for Roll Dizz because he seemed to have gotten into a rough situation there. But he'll learn from it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a part of me that feels for him, and there's a part of me that just completely understands how the whole system works, right? And it just wasn't going to. They need some more tools. Is Chrome the answer for them?
I don't know at this point.
I don't know either. I would say he has a little bit more of that than maybe Roll Dizz had it off the jump. But Roll Dizz now has this experience. I think he's going to be able to go and take this if he wants to continue his coaching career too, right? Like, who knows what he actually wants at this point. But if he wants to, I think he has some new experiences to understand how he can try something different. Does he start with another top team? Does he get one of those jobs? Is he too good in his own mind to kind of start somewhere else? I don't know. We'll see.
I think after watching that video, I think Roll Dizz, if there's a younger team out there that can, he's kind of like a coach now that had got his shot at the NFL and it didn't go well, and now your next coaching avenue is going to have to be money side much less than what you got at your NFL shot. You're going to have to go build up a program at this point. And
Totally.
I think he could actually find some hungry young players that would be willing to listen to him after that video. I think there could be a group out there who's willing to commit and actually grow. I did like his idea. He talks about how Rocket League doesn't have the junior team basically, and that's not on Rocket League. Why don't the orgs just do that? I think that could be really interesting. Where that would get awkward then is if you tried to pull someone
that
up.
player wants to get poached.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do it like mid regional.
The rules hurt you in points. But
yeah.
He made the same point that even Greg talked about, right? Like, you need to know that there's hungry people behind you. You need to understand that just because you're at the top doesn't mean you're going to stay at the top.
Right.
Even winning aside, right? Like, at the highest level, you're at the highest level you can get to in this esport. Period. Right? You're on a big org. You have wins under your belt. You have points in the championship series. You're going to the world's competition. regardless if you win it or not, you're still, there's room for people to come in behind you. And without being able to show that, it doesn't mean they have to have 3 guys nipping at their butt, but you have to have that sense. You have to make them stay hungry. So yeah, I think he did say a lot of good things. I'm not knocking his heart and his belief in himself and that. I'm just saying there are some things that he hasn't got to experience yet. There are some things that were a little bit tough for him at his level of expertise, and maybe a little age comes into play. I'm not sure, but I'm of the thought that a really good coach can come in and coach multiple things that they may not have ever played before. Ted Lasso, right? Amazing coach, and he coached football, then went and got this soccer opportunity over in Europe. I know it's a TV show, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, he's a good coach who said, the sport is one thing. You guys are the ones responsible for her playing that. I have to be able to get the best out of you.
Right.
That's the plan. That's what I'm saying. A really good coach could go in there and coach multiple things and be successful at it. A player only has a one-track mind.
Well,
so you have to fix that.
Yeah, I think this whole issue just highlights like what has kind of been the theme of what we've discussed the last year and a half, and that is the maturity level of the entire scene. And at some point, it will probably catch up with itself, and there's a chance that it may never do that, but who knows? Well, I think we've beat that topic on the head enough, and it was a fun one to talk about. It was definitely interesting when all that stuff was coming out, because it's like, ooh, this is that insight, right? That stuff that we never get to see, and just to hear some things he was talking about, it made for an interesting week in the Rocket League scene.
I concur.
Looking ahead, so we'd said the matches that are going on tomorrow.
Are you watching them tomorrow?
I'm going to catch matches. It was up to my son. Did he want to go golf tomorrow? Or did he want us all to go out to breakfast? So he wanted all of us to go out to breakfast. So that is what we will be doing tomorrow. I think it actually starts a little later tomorrow than what it has the past couple of days. Matches kick off in just under 9 hours. So 9 a.m. So yeah, I'll be able to watch from the start, especially since F1's in we're in summer break.
Is that
right
9
now.
a.m. your time?
9 a.m. my time.
That's later than it has been? Man,
Yeah.
Are you sure? I feel like Wednesday or Thursday was like 9 a.m. my time.
Was it? Or it might be earlier because they're not.
I'm much finer with earlier.
It might be earlier because we got to get through 2 sets of
lots
because everybody gets eliminated tomorrow.
Yeah, they're doing the upper bracket semifinals, the lower bracket semifinals, the upper bracket semifinals, the lower bracket semifinals, and the playoffs.
Wait, they're doing group stage tomorrow?
I mean, not the playoffs. They're doing rounds 4 and 5.
Okay, thank God.
Right?
Yeah, so it's 9 matches
4
tomorrow.
and 5. Not the actual winners. Wait. Or are they?
No. If you go look, it doesn't. It starts in 2 days. The group stage. Yeah, so they are starting a little bit earlier tomorrow because
the wild cards
all the way up till now.
Where
so the past couple of days they've played 8 matches. They've streamed 8 matches a day, and tomorrow they got 9. So you do have to add in a little bit of an earlier start time, I would say. Papa Rizzo today, Monday. How much did I drink earlier? Group start Tuesday, says Papa Rizzo. Yeah, so Me and the fam go on vacation Monday, so we definitely wanted to get on here and chit chat about everything that was going on. When do you head out, Papa Rizzo?
He thought Monday, but now it's Monday already. He's late. He missed his flight.
He's like, hang on. These guys aren't supposed to be on here right now. He leaves Monday night. So there you go.
You missed it.
So yeah, we probably confused the hell out of him. He checked to make sure he didn't miss a flight.
Yeah, the 2 weeks of all the Rocket League is pretty wild to be able to watch, but it's nice that it's on. I love it.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, it needs to happen. I don't know how it happens more, but it needs to happen more somehow.
It doesn't.
I didn't even see what happened in the draw. Oh, Jisu's team has punched through. He tweeted about it, didn't he? Yeah, perfect sweeps for first class to enter the main event of the draw. Who all did they beat? Who did they beat today? Which is really good for them. Draw 5. Qualifier. Holy crap. Where is this all at? So they beat what is this team? It was my tummy something.
I have no idea.
My tummy kind of hurts. So they beat them 3-0, and then they beat 0-1 3-0, which you talked about that earlier. That is nope, not that team. Who? Oh, I'm even thinking about that one. That must have been a different tournament you were talking about. But yeah, so they beat those two teams, and they'll be making their way into the main event of the draw, which good luck to those guys. Hope it goes well.
You lost me.
I know I did. These matches start to... When do these matches happen? In 15 hours. So there you go. Oh, that's right. It's past midnight here, so that's why I'm in the 16th. But yeah.
So draw 5, right? Starts.
Yeah, draw 5.
Starts tomorrow.
Today.
Sunday.
Yeah, today for me.
And that's got some teams in it. I mean, Optic, some teams that almost were at Worlds, so it's really cool. Sup is in there.
Yeah, so
Money, Ajax,
Bucket and Hoosier will be pulling for first class to take it all the way, and hopefully that goes well.
Yeah, first class for sure. If not, Optic Gaming.
Greg. As always.
Can't beat that. I heard, and I haven't got on the game though, that RLCS decals are on sale.
Yes, they are on sale.
Off. And they go away after Worlds is over because they'll have a new fresh one for next year. So they won't be selling those ones again. So if you have any extra,
I got my Optic one.
I might go scoop some Optic stuff. There's a few that I was always eyeballing. Like, man, it'd be cool to rock those, even though I might not follow the team. But I haven't. We need to get our stuff as like creator codes.
That would be cool.
So you can put Bucket and Hoosier.
BNH.
Creator code. Yeah, all right. Well, we don't have to drag this on. We talked about a lot of stuff. Had fun again, man. We'll miss you on Monday, and we'll pick back up after the Worlds is over. So any predictions real quick?
That's a good idea. So for me, I would say, oh my gosh, if I had to really like think of something wild, if MENA can get all 3 of their teams into group stage, I feel like MENA could really mess some things up. I really think there's a chance that Secret knocks down Complexity tomorrow, makes them go play in round 5. But overall, oh man, I think it's gonna be the Zen's show. I don't see a team out there. After I watched back some of the Vitality games, I don't see a team that can actually take them down right now. And I know it's like any match, things can go your way, but I'm not sure if that's the case this time around. And maybe for FaZe, maybe they get the coach buff again like they did last year, and that's what they're going for, and they're able to make a run. But I really think this one's going to be Vitality's to lose again.
I'd accept that as a prediction. Not really going out on a limb, Maria, but that's fair.
No.
It makes sense. They've really just kept showing up and haven't really been knocked down too hard. So I tend to lean that way as well, but to go another way, it's interesting to see like BDS, right? Like they
do have Rise.
historically don't show up at lands, but they have been like before last year.
You mean except for at Worlds last year?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like that's where they started shining again. So they've got an interesting squad over there. It's hard to say any NA team. I know a couple of them played well so far in the wild card, but it's hard to see.
Yeah, and it's the wild card too. I don't take a lot of stake in what's happening in the wild card right now because you have all those teams. You have your Carmine, your BDS, Liquid, Ninjas in Pajamas, Gen G, Rule 1, Vitality, and FaZe waiting for everybody in the group stage. So,
but G2, I mean, they did what they had to do.
They did. G2 has looked good. I'll give them that.
4-0, 4-3, 4-0 against Complexity. I mean, Complexity hasn't been really on one though either. I guess they went 4-0 and 4-3 against Oxygen. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be an EU run playoff. I don't know if anyone can beat Team Vitality, but going out on a limb, let's just go with someone exciting. Let's go with Falcons making it to the grand finals. That's what I'll go with.
I would say Falcons are a Rule 1.
That would be fun too.
Yeah, I can see Rule 1, but we'll see what happens.
I gotta go catch this Jake Paul Nate Diaz fight real quick.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's going. Wait, didn't it already happen?
No, I think it's just about to start. I mean, like the card's been going on, but I think the actual fight is just about to start.
We'll find out. All right. Well, you'll have a good one. We'll talk to you later. Have a good night.
Later on.